Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. For those of you who don't recognise my voice, my name's Mike, and today we'll just be covering some of the basics on PrimaGO. If you have any questions while the session's ongoing, Ollie is on the live chat, so drop him a line if you have anything. We'll also be hanging around at the end of the session if you do have any questions then. So we'll just get started with today's session. So we've got a few key talking points on what we're going to be going through. So how to add an image collection, adding banners, images, setting up some featured products, changing the colours of your store, and setting up some home categories. So just a few bits that we'll be covering today. Some of the people that will be watching this, you may have seen this already, but it's just a bit of a refresher for those that haven't seen this before. So we'll get started. So managing your web store, it's controlled through what we call the control panel. So when you do go live with your PrimaGO store, the login details are provided by us, and if you're not entirely sure of your own login details, contact our support department and we'll be more than happy to give you a reminder or a refresher of your login details, just so you can get on and manage your store. Once you do have them login details, you will come to this URL here, which is go-to.primasoftware.co.uk. Now we do have two control panels, depending on sort of what control panel and what server your store is on with us. If you're on one of our older servers, you will be prompted to just go to.primasoftware.co.uk, but you will be able to access either control panel or prompt you to go to the correct one once you're in. So the first thing we're going to go through is just actually setting up an image collection and then putting that image into a banner or an image module on the control panel. And to do that, we want to go to Content and Image Collections. So to actually get the images on your store, we need to set up the images first. So when you come into here, now there's already a preset list in here. If it's a new site that you're going to be working on, you won't have anything in here, so it'll be nice and clean for you to start working on. We've got two options on actually creating a banner, an image collection, sorry. The first is clicking this new collection button at the top left here, or just the new button on the bottom left. We can click either of them. Clicking them brings you to this page here, which is creating a new image collection. So this is where you can give it a name, put as many images that you want into it, and going from there. So if we want to name this, we'll just name it Home Banner. Just so, in fact, we've got a few there. So I'll name it Home Banner 3 because we've got a few home banners already there. So you want to give it a name that's relevant to where you're going to be putting your images, just so in future when you are going to be possibly updating this, you know exactly which image it is that you need to update from your control panel, so you're not having to go through all this creating a new image collection again. You can just simply change the image. Once I'm happy with that, we can just hit this Add Image button in the bottom left, and this creates a new line at the very bottom for us. So within here we have a few options. We have title, link, target, the image itself, and an index. So starting off with the title, this is the actual name of the image. This is what will show when you hover over your image, so it's always worthwhile giving it a relevant name. So if we're promoting sort of 2018 diaries for the new year, you could put into this section 2018 diaries. The next option we've got here is a link. Now, one of the latest releases that we've done of the web store included an update to this section. So you no longer just have to put in a URL to another site or a link to your own site. You can actually generate an email from this section. So if you have put on it or created a new banner that promotes a certain offer that your customers will have to email you for, or even sort of like a contact us option, then you can set that email up to be generated when your customer does click on it. So if you're going to be setting an image, we'll just save. You can see we've got this generate link, and this enables us to select sort of the two options that we've got for the link, which is either to a website or to an email. So if you click the generate link, it brings you up this generate link box, and this is where we select which type. So we can select either a web address and just paste the address into there, or we can select the email address. and this is where we can input sort of the email address that we want it to prompt to send to. So if you've got like a sales at email address, you can type that in there, you can give it a subject, and then you can input the body of your text into here. With this, it enables you to put the words into your customer's mouth, exactly what they want if they click the offer, and then they can send it to you, and there you go. So you, rather than making it hard for your customers to contact you by email for an offer or something like that, you can put into here exactly what you want them to say to you, which makes it a lot easier for your customers and yourselves for getting some offers in. The next option they do have is relevant towards the web address link, and that's the target, and that's where it'll open. So if you want it to open sort of in the same tab, then you can put open link here. So we recommend having an open link here for your own site. So if you're linking to a specific product in your site or a specific product group, you can put it into your own site, so you're not pushing customers away from your own store. If it's going to an external site, so for example a social media page, if you've got another site that sits on top of your store, sort of like our PrimaGO store, then you can have this open new window or tab, and what that'll do, that'll open it in a new window or tab, meaning you're not pushing your customers away from your store, you're keeping them sort of with a link that's easily back to your store. The last thing you want is to be driving them away. Next option that we do have is actually the image. So with the store, we do have some pre-selected images here. There's been some extras that have been put in here by our team when they've been testing this store, but you have a pre-select list here. If you wanted to upload your own images, we have this upload button at the very top, and that's where you can select sort of your own images that you've created by choosing the upload and just selecting the image. But for the majority, we do have these pre-generated images that allow you to have a bit of a play around with the store without having to spend quite a while looking or creating these images. So you can just give one a double click and it puts it into the image box here. On the very right, the very last option we do have is index. What this index is if you've got more than one image in here, you can actually order the images that you do have within the image collection. So if you want them to show in a specific order, you can use this index, which works on a 0 or higher. So if you wanted something to be at the very back, you'd give it a higher number than what's in front of it. So that's how you can have a play around with the images and make sure that they're in an order that you definitely want. Once you're happy with everything, we just want to hit the save, and that's that image collection created. With this image collection, you can use it on a number of different modules within the control panel. Them modules being image, banner, slideshow and carousel. What I'll go through now is just showing you how you can apply that to a banner and apply the banner to your homepage. So with a banner, what that is, it's just a simple static image that you can put in your store, that you can put a link to, as we've seen here. It's probably one of the most used modules on our store. So to set that up, we want to go contents on the left hand side again, and then modules. From the module list, we have banners at the very top. Now there's already some banners in here, we want to create a new one, and we do that by clicking this add button here, and it creates this new green highlighted line at the very bottom for us. So there's a few options within here. We have the image collection itself, and then the dimensions. So the image collection, that's what we've just set up, so this is why naming it something relevant comes into play, so you can actually remember what image collection you are setting up. So we've just set up home banner 3. The image dimensions, this is something you will have been told during the sort of when you do have your first training with us on the control panel. If you're not sure of the sizes, I'll just give you a quick reminder. If you've got a store set up like our Prim Help store here, which is more these office supplies, we do have 3 columns. So in this setup, what we have is a login box on the left hand side, and for some reason a login box on the right hand side as well. The module from here to here, where the login box is 180 pixels wide. The center column is 760 pixels wide, and then the right hand column is another 180 pixels wide. So that's what we would use for our image dimensions. So because we want this image to go very central, we'll make it 760 pixels by 300. Once we're happy with the sizing and everything, we just want to hit save on this banner. Now it's actually time to add the banner to the home page so we can see what the image looks like on there. What we want to do is go Content and Page Layout. So this page layout is where you can see sort of all the different pages that you've got in your store. You can add modules to pretty much every single one of them, but just for the ease of use, we're going to be adding this to the home page. So you select Home from the list and click the link, and then we go to Page Modules. So if we're looking to add a new module, we want to hit this Add Module button, and creates another green highlighted line, which is the new one. And then we have a few more options within here. So we have Position, Index, the module itself, and then the module status. So I just go down. The positioning works off a left, right, top and bottom. So if you want something to be on the left hand side, you push it to be left. If you want it to be central, it's either top or bottom. And on the right hand side, just select right. So because we want this to be top and center, we want to hit top. With the index, it works similar to the index against the image collections. If you want something to be lower down than another thing, then you have a play about with the index, make it a higher number to push it further down. From the list, we want to select the banner we've just set up, which is Home Banner 3. So we've selected that banner, and we want to make sure that the status on the right hand side is enabled, otherwise it won't show. So if you want to just disable the module for the time being, you can just change it to disabled, and won't be visible from view, but it won't be deleted, so you can easily set it back up again. Once we're happy with everything, we just want to hit save, and that's updated that content page. So if we go back to the store and give it a refresh, we can see at the very top here, we've got this free deliveries on orders over £75. So that's adding a banner to the page. You can use the same process for adding slideshows, carousels and whatnot to the store. It all follows the same process of adding an image collection, setting up the image collection in the module, and then applying the module to the page. The next thing I'll be moving on to is adding featured products. So if you're looking for an easy way to promote items on your store at a specific price that you're able to do, and you want it to be sort of promoted at the top of searches and whatnot, then featured products is the way for you to go about that. So we can set up the module within the control panel, and we do that from going to Content and Modules. And within the module list we have featured products. So we've already got featured products set up on the control panel. So what we have here is a limit that's set, the size of the images that show, whether it's a carousel that we can flick through the items, and whether it shows a random list of items at on the module. So just to give you an example of what the featured products would look like, we have this module here. Now this has been renamed using an option within the control panel, which is under System, Settings and Definitions. So we have this definition for featured products which has been renamed to Specials. So you can change this to whatever you'd like, whether it's offers of the week, or even just if you wanted to leave it as featured products, you could. So that's what this module here is. This is our special offers or featured products. Now that's setting up the module. If you wanted to actually set up an item to be featured, this is controlled through the back office Prima. So if we just go into Prima, the item has to be a stock code for this. So we want to go to Stock, Products, and then we just want to search for the product code. Once we find our product code, we want to double click in it and go to Product, Unit and Pricing. Once we're in here, we want to make sure that this is ticked. So this enables a product to be featured. Also below it we have a timescale. So with a featured product you can determine how long you want that offer to be on for. So if you want it to be sort of 2 weeks, 2 months, or even 2 years, you can select the end date. So if we just say, well, for this product, we'll give it an offer for the rest of September. What we also want to do is make sure that we set a special price. So once we've made this an option, we want to make sure that this special price here is enabled. So say if you want to sell this at half price, you push it to be £6 off what it is normally. So you can change the price within here. One thing to remember with this is it will pull in over everything. So if you've got customers who've got contract prices set up, discount bands, everything like that, a featured product will pull in over all of that. So if you've got some customers that do have the item on contract, then just be careful, because it will come up at a different price for these customers. That item's been set to be a featured. Now, because we've got a random list set here, it may not show up on here, but that's how you'd set up the item to be a featured product. So let's give it a refresh and see if it's one of the ones that show. So there we go, we were lucky with that one. It showed up that product as in the list there. So that's setting up a featured product. The next option we do have is how to change a colour within Prima. Now this is controlled, again, at the control panel, through this style option. So if we click into here, this is where all your colours and whatnot are controlled sort of your store. So if you want to make a change to the menu, we change the menu colour from here. So it's nice and easy. You can either put in what's known as a hexadecimal code, or you can just drag and drop from the colour list here. So say if you wanted to set it to be white, you can just click over and select it to be white, and then you can go from there. So within here we do have some more options of different sections. So the menu relates to this section here. The breadcrumb is when you do go into categories, the sort of the list of where you are in there. But it's just having a play about with these colours and getting it to be what you want within the store. So we do have a number of options, sort of such as the font colour, the font size, which you can input in, as well as inputting the font family. So depending on what you want to do with your store and which sections you want to amend, then it's just going into this section and having a play about with it and changing the colour. So if we wanted this to be red, we'd select red, or if we wanted it to be pink or purple, we just select using the sort of the drag and drop on the side. So that's how you're able to amend that. What we move on to is actually setting up home categories. So with most of our stores, our customers do use the home categories to promote some of the categories and classifications that aren't at the top level, just so they can show the customers that they do offer more than just what's showing across the top here. So if we're actually going to set some categories to be home categories, what we want to do, even though we can see sort of what's set to be a home category already by clicking this button. So we've got some stuff that's added in here. If we wanted to add some more categories to this section, we can go to all categories, and it's mainly used to show groups that aren't in your top level, so the sub-level groups. So if we hit show groups, what we can do, we can highlight some of the lines here using this tick box. So if we just highlight 4, and then at the bottom here we've got this use on home category button. So this is one of the ways that we can add categories into the into this section. We just click use on home category, and what that does, it adds it in these product groups into the home category section here. If we wanted to have a play about with the index, as we sort of move some of them about, make some sort of more prominent than others, we can do so by clicking into the categories. So within the categories, if we just scroll down a little bit, we are also able to set these to be in the categories or not, using this on and off button. Just below that we do have an index, so if we wanted to set this to be at the very bottom, we could just put a higher number in and then just hit save, and that has a play about with the indexes. That's going to put pens to be at the very bottom. If we wanted to set this up to actually show on the page, we do as we've done before with modules. We go to content, page layout, and then the home page. Once we're in here, we go to page modules and hit add module, and it shows this green line for us at the bottom. So we want to set this to be central and then select the home category from the list. So if we scroll down a little bit, we have this home category option here. We save that, and that's updated the home page to put on these home categories. So when we refresh this, we can see here we have this view our product range now. So that's how we can promote what other categories and other products that you do supply in your web store without your customers having to go into sort of hover over the different navigation groups just to see what they offer. So that's been what we wanted to cover in today's session. If you do want any more in-depth training on the control panel to see sort of what other features and whatnot that the control panel does do so you can enhance your web store, then please speak to sort of our support department, as we'll be able to point you in the right direction of some training packages for that. If you do have any questions about today's session, myself and Ollie will be hanging around on the YouTube chat, so don't hesitate to ask away. And well, thank you for your time, and hope you all have a great weekend.